It invites boredom. Boredom is where the snow is snow. Snow is the most silent sound I've ever heard. And from that silence, that boredom, ideas, new life comes and makes every place a garden. So it invites boredom, which is beautiful, I feel. My name is Omid and my last name has like the zip code and address to it because the people where my dad comes from, they're called Ask. Being from them is ASCII, from the mountain ranges of close to the Caspian Sea, Ladijan, and being from there's Ladijani. So that tells you the story. I had a full-time job at the School of Health Information Sciences, and I was living in Houston. My soul wasn't fulfilled for some reason. So I came to Austin and discovered all this beauty, and I just loved it here. I've discovered connecting my heart to the land is the most nationalistic endeavor. That's the true native person, connecting their eyes and their senses to the land and seeing it like their own flesh. Then after 7 months or so, I discovered Barton Springs. Barton Springs is my first home because every single time anyone ever jumps in that water, including myself, no matter how many times, it's the same feeling of freedom.
Yeah.
It's where everyone congregates. People come to share openly with no blocks, nothing. They're open to the sun, open to the wind. The trees are dancing for you. The bubbles from photosynthesis coming up from the vegetation and pop up at the top. The light coming inside, the light on the surface. Just jump in there, visit it, see everyone is like a family. It's healing. Since the beginning, I've had the same feeling every single time. Austin launched me to Northern Territory, Australia, because of this one instrument that I play called didgeridoo that the city brought to me. And anytime I played it, especially Barton Springs, people would come together like it's cold outside and there's fire. Everyone comes close like moths coming to the light. And so it took me to the source. Passionate people bring the source 1 inch closer, day by day. And I went to the source, Northern Territory in Australia, where this instrument is from. And I discovered that it's a language to the land. When I went over there, I had this intuition that this journey was going to be the greatest university without walls in my lifetime, and it was. You only want people, they're like family for me. And they planted seeds just so you can see how connected every person is to the land. They never ever sit down in a classroom setting to teach you things. They just do it. So I would walk by and my Aboriginal sister was doing a painting. I'm like, oh, that's the big greenback turtle. What are the lines around that? Oh, that's the food for the turtle. I'm like, how do you know? How do you know? She says, we just know, and we know the patterns, we paint them. So it struck my interest to do art. When I came back, I discovered that art is the language of nature. It's the language of nature. But the way light comes through the water and shines through the vegetation of the water is what this painting was about. I did this at the Springs, actually. The ways of the land is not so brainy, it's heartful. Children get it immediately because it's their language, they're born with it. They're in the flow, they're rhythmic. they're heartful. And so regardless of who you are, what your classification is, once you jump in that water, it doesn't, you're just an experience. You're in the now, your being is alive.